On December 18, 2017, an Amtrak train carrying dozens of passengers through DuPont derailed, catapulting passenger cars into the woods and onto I-5 below. The crash killed 3 and injured over 100. Those who were severely injured were rushed to hospitals, but scores of passengers remained in limbo. Minutes after the crash, the city of DuPont learned about what happened.
We knew that day was the beginning of the new Amtrak service. We were all aware of it. Been a lot of tests going on, and so we were ready for it. Just ironically, by scheduling, City Hall was closed that day. We were doing emergency management training, incident management, and so we had a scenario set up where we were going to be training staff on this type of scenario. I was driving into the office and driving down Center Drive, and all of a sudden a silver sedan goes by me about 70 miles an hour on a 35-mile-an-hour road with flashers and sirens. Wasn't one of ours, so I assumed something bad happened on I-5. I pulled into City Hall, and the city administrator met me and said, "Train derailed." And my response was, "That's the scenario we're using for today's exercise." He goes, "No, the train derailed." And I looked at him and shook my head, says, "You're not talking about the Amtrak train on the first run of the first day." I said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about."
The disaster put newly hired DuPont communications coordinator Erin Gowenlock's skills to the test.
I had been fairly new in this position as communications coordinator. I'd been in this position for 6 months when the accident happened. And like the mayor that morning, I was totally caught off guard. I thought it was a joke, essentially, because we were going to have our training. So it was a real, no pun intended, but crash course in how to deal with emergency management.
Mayor Kortz went to the site to survey the damage before passengers were removed from the scene.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific. You felt like you were on a Hollywood set. You had to get your mind around that was real. And I got 4 combat tours. I've seen a lot of things. And this still was a pretty horrific scene to view.
Kortz says the sheer sight of what happened inspired he and his staff to get to work immediately.
We assessed that any seriously injured would go straight to hospitals. The non-injured and lightly injured would likely come here. We started getting bus loads of passengers up here into the City Hall, and they quickly got triaged. If they were not injured, they came in here. If they were injured, they went to the EOC. We got medical attention as was required. People that needed phones, people that needed new clothing, whatever it was, we took care of their needs here, brought in our chaplain, put a call out to our local restaurants and local businesses. And one of the things I am most proud of is the response of all the local businesses. Started bringing food, bringing water. I got a call from the CEO of Jack in the Box and said, "Look, see, we had a train crash in your city. We have a Jack in the Box in your city. And I've called them and told them, start making sandwiches, bring them to City Hall, and do it until they tell you to stop."
Despite the devastation, Kortz says the ordeal brought everyone together.
You could see the city came together. People did not complain about the traffic issue. They understood. They were appreciative of us trying to keep them informed. But they also respected the fact that our focus was on doing what we could.
The National Transportation Safety Board says speed was a factor in the derailment. iFiber One News reached out to NTSB officials who say the crash is still under investigation. I'm Sean Goggins for iFiber One News.